Now to the photo hacking scandal everybody's talking about. As we told you earlier, Apple now says those nude celebrity images were stolen in, quote, a very targeted attack on usernames, passwords, and security questions, adding that none of the cases we have investigated has resulted from a breach in any of Apple's systems, including iCloud or Find My iPhone. The FBI is now on the case, so we wanted to look at the bigger implications of this. CBS News legal analyst Rikki Klieman joins us from Boston. Rikki, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Hey, how is the FBI involved in the case? What exactly are they doing?
Well, the FBI is going to look at all of the systems, despite Apple saying that it really comes from the idea of forgot your password. They will be looking at the devices belonging to these movie stars, that is, their mobile phones, their computers, their backup systems, and they will also then be searching to look for, in essence, the virtual fingerprints of the hackers themselves.
So who do you think could be charged here? The hackers, the websites, the people that posted the videos, the pictures?
Well, you have to look from the greatest to the smallest. We know that the hackers can be charged. There's a law on the books as far back as 1986, and it's called the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act. And that's really the big law, because what we have there are penalties for each count, each hacking, and that goes to 5 years a count, and even with enhancements, it may be more than that. You may remember that there was a case where Scarlett Johansson, among others, her nude photos were hacked. The person in Florida who did that, a man by the name of Christopher Cheney, he wound up with a 10-year plea on the basis of 9 counts, so he could have gotten a lot more than that. What we look at after that is people who have put it on the website. It's the people who put it up there that may become liable, both criminally and civilly. The website's not going to be liable, and certainly the people who look at it are not going to be liable.
Can I ask you about, there's certainly a lot of headlines out there where people are saying, you know, this isn't just a scandal, it's a sex crime against these women.
Well, it's not a sex crime against these women. The reality of this is it is a computer crime and a computer crime only, despite the fact that it's this kind of public exposure of something that is really private. When we have something in our cell phone, we have a reasonable expectation of privacy that no one is going to look at that. But it doesn't mean that by someone hacking into it and putting it out there that it is a sex crime. In fact, the worst part of all of this is if I read one more thing about people blaming the victims in this case. If you take a photo in the privacy of your own home with your husband, with your significant other, or all by yourself, and then let alone the fact that some of these photos were deleted, why in heaven's name do you expect that some hacker is going to go in there? That is not, it just is not a reasonable expectation of privacy. It is your own, and we shouldn't blame the victim.
Thank you so much, Rikki.